TBS Storyline returns with Myrna Moore.
On Cumberland Island, there are no phones, radios, or TVs, but you won't miss them. You'll be mesmerized by huge oak trees draped with moss and captivated by the story of one family that's been on the island for 2 centuries. On Cumberland Island, there has always been harmony, a unique blend, a mutual respect that exists between nature and mankind.
She was the human tie to this land that we knew. She would take us in the woods. We would spend nights going out. She would call alligators up with lanterns, and she could ride a horse like a jockey, and she knew all the secrets of the land, and she made sure that that her children and grandchildren got the same, at least as best she could.
Lucy Ferguson spent all of her life in awe of Cumberland Island. A naturalist, she was also a teacher at her core, who taught her grandson Jamie, along with her other heirs, to be lovers and protectors of the land.
She said that we should live here. It was our home. That's what the important part about this land was to her. And she really instilled that, and I believe that is the reason we're here, still.
Archaeologists believe Cumberland Island, Georgia's largest barrier island, was originally inhabited by Native Americans as far back as 4,000 years ago. After explorations by the French, Spanish, and the British, a Civil War Confederate general sold the land to 2 Yankees from Pittsburgh, Thomas and Andrew Carnegie. In 1881, the 2 steel magnates bought nearly 2/3 of Cumberland Island. Lucy Ferguson was their great-granddaughter. She, along with the rest of the Carnegie clan, built extravagant homes on the island, like the Stafford House, the Grayfield, Plum Orchard, and the legendary Dungeness.
I'm sure it was a vibrant social atmosphere, sort of an idyllic lifestyle. When all the houses that they built were in full swing, there probably were as many as 350 support staff. I can imagine it was similar to the life of many of the wealthy of that era.
While they lived lavishly on the island, each generation of Carnegies was also taught to protect it. The family deeded most of the land to the federal government and avoided the snare of commercial development. Today, the island is a national park, open to the public. A few descendants like Jamie still live here. We asked Jamie to show us where he spent his summers with his beloved grandmother.
The house we're about to come to is Plum Orchard. This house was built by the Carnegies finished around 1899 for one of their sons, George. You want to see if this key really works? Look at that. The entrance is my favorite part of the house. This is known as the Ingle Nook fireplace, and I've been told that an architect named Ingalls popularized this during the Victorian era. I can just see the fire going and a nice bottle of Madeira as you warmed up after you'd been duck hunting on a cold January day. Now we're in the butler's pantry, my favorite aspect being the annunciator, in which all the rooms were outfitted with push buttons so that if you needed room service, you'd push the button and the corresponding arrow would go up and the wait staff would know where room service was desired.
The Plum Orchard Mansion also included a swimming pool, tennis courts, and a squash or racquetball room.
Well, that wraps it up for Plum Orchard, and now we're off to Dungeness.
Easily the most famous estate on the Georgia coast, the original Dungeness Mansion was a 4-story structure surrounded by 12 acres of gardens, complete with 4 chimneys and 16 fireplaces. Destroyed by fire, some say arson, the mansion was restored twice, only to burn each time. Today, it is only a shell of what it used to be.
And as you can see, it's pretty well gutted. although there is a lot of that good Carnegie steel left.
Yet, even amid the ruins, there are subtle reminders of what once was true Georgia grandeur.
And that's Dungeness.
Of all the mansions that still stand on Cumberland Island, there is only one where you can spend a night or two.
I think when they get here, I think they probably, can sense the quiet and the peacefulness and, just stepping back to another time.
Mary Jo Ferguson is a fifth-generation innkeeper of sorts at Grayfield. She picked up where her in-laws, Lucy and Oliver Ferguson, left off nearly 50 years ago. Determined to keep the house as it stood at the turn of the century, even the books in the library go back as far as 1865.
We have 10 rooms in the main house, 6 rooms and 2 cottages, and the master bedroom is the largest room. It's the original master bedroom to the house, we're pretty sure, and it's got this beautiful old 4-poster bed. Part of the traditions that I think that people enjoy are coming into the big table and sitting in with a group of people that they're just meeting and getting to know them and enjoy their stories that they've, from their days, outings.
And of all the stories to be told about Cumberland Island, it is the love story between man and nature that stands tallest.
So really, the one thing that remains constant throughout this whole story is the land itself. The beautiful forests of the island, the ocean, the marshes, the natural habitat for all the animals all add up to a very rich environment and is the one thing that keeps us tied here.
To learn more about the Grayfield Inn and Cumberland Island, check out our website at TBS STORYline.com.
I'm Bill Wiggins. I'm a bagpiper here at the Lodge at Sea Island, Georgia. I've been playing bagpipes about 10 years now. Started out actually as a drummer in the pipe band, and I thought the pipes were much cooler. Bagpipe has a blow stick, it has a chanter that you play the tune on, and it has 3 drones, 2 tenor drones and a bass drum. There's just something about the music that stirs the soul.